Hello, welcome to the Creative Obsession Podcast. My name is Carrie and I am coming to you from Oregon. Today is September 28th, 2017. Thank you so much for joining me. Whether you are new or a returning viewer, I appreciate you being here. This is my little channel where I talk about all things creative that I get into, and it varies from time to time, but more heavily on knitting and some quilting. So thank you so much for being here. As I had mentioned in the last episode, if you watched, actually this is episode 41. I always forget to say what episode it is. I don't know that it really matters, but there you go. In the last episode, I talked about going on vacation. So we were on vacation last week, and it was glorious. It was a very relaxing vacation, which is just exactly what we needed. We went over to Central Oregon, which is our favorite area to go to, and it actually got cold and rainy, which it doesn't rain there very often because it's high desert, but it felt so good. And we did nothing for the whole time we were there. We rented a little house in Sun River, and we just stayed inside. I got a lot of knitting done, and we watched movies, watched some Game of Thrones episodes, seasons, whatever. I haven't really watched it. It's not my cup of tea. It's quite a bit violent, and I just don't really like to see that kind of stuff. But I like the story, and for as much as I can follow it. So we would watch it, and then they're going to get into some sort of fight or something. It's not just going to be that. They're going to chop somebody's head off or their hand off or something. And I would just close my eyes and plug my ears. I don't want to hear all the noises or anything. Jim would turn the volume down, and he'd go, okay, you're good to listen now. So I'd get through those things, and then the story part was getting more interesting. So I think we were into season 4. I can't remember. So watched a lot of that. I could only get through a couple of episodes, and then I'd have to watch something else. But anyway, sat and knitted and just kind of cozied up on the couch and really relaxed. I did pay for that in the end because we really didn't do a whole lot. The weather would break, and then we would go like, hey, let's go for a walk. So we would take a walk and go walk around. There's a lot of, there's miles and miles of bike trails all around in there. And so we do that, and like, oh, here comes, some rain. We better head back to the house. And then that was it for the day. Well, when I went back to kickboxing on Monday, I could feel it. I hadn't done anything except for some walks, and I had to start all over. Not that I was very far into it, but yeah, I'm back to square one with the dang sit-ups. So anyway, I'm still going to that, and I'm still enjoying it. And now that everything is kind of over, there's no more wedding, there's hopefully no more drama, I can stick to just going and doing the class. So yeah, that's what's been up with me. I've got some things to show. I actually started a new craft, which you may have seen if you followed me on Instagram, so I will share that with you as well. But first I want to start with the quilt that's on the wall. This is a quilt that I made several years ago, and I kind of forgot that I had it. It's hanging up by the front door in the entryway on the wall there, and I don't use the front door very often, so I forget that it's there. But this was a pattern I don't have the pattern anymore. I don't have the pattern anymore. But anyway, it's a pattern by Nancy Halverson, and her brand and her website is Art to Heart, and I'll put the link to that and anything else that needs links or anything like that in the description box below this YouTube video. But this is Art to Heart, and the pattern is called In a Pear Tree. And this was designed to use, Nancy Halverson designs patterns and designs fabric. So back whenever this was designed, it was designed to showcase a Christmas, what is it? Partridge in a Pear Tree panels or something, like printed panels. So in the middle, the pear was supposed to be made up of the panel of one of the sayings in that song, that Christmas song. And so then you have the pear tree. Well, I didn't want to do it that way. I didn't want to have a Christmas themed quilt or anything like that. I didn't have the panel. I just liked the idea of the pear tree and the colors and stuff like that. So I didn't do, obviously, didn't do the square that had the partridge in a pear tree panels in it. I just picked different colors of gold pear kind of colors and made that. Excuse me. Whew, sorry about that. But what I was saying is I just made the pears and just did it as a pear tree. This actually was a fairly complicated, I'd say it's complicated pattern in that each pear is made differently because it depends on where it is in the tree. Is it at the top of the tree where you've got some sky color at the top? Is it in the middle of the tree? Well, it's surrounded by foliage. Is it the bottom of the tree where you've got, you know, some sky down there? So it was a little tricky. I do know that there's a spot that I think I did something wrong. I don't have the pattern anymore to know for sure, but I have a feeling that there's a foliage spot that's in the wrong spot. But it's okay. I'm okay with it. So I really played with the quilting on this. In the background, and I'll put some pictures in of some close-ups of the quilting. But in the background, I've even quilted a butterfly. Yeah, it's a butterfly. I quilted a butterfly in the sky. So it's very subtle. You just see it when the light hits it just right. So it's just, I love to do that kind of thing where you've got this little surprise kind of a thing in there. And so, and then I just did some swirls in the pears and, you know, made the tree trunk look like bark and feathers around the border and all that kind of stuff. It was really fun to work on. So that, I felt like that was kind of entering us into the fall season a little bit. Just because of the pears and the colors and stuff like that, because now we are officially in fall, which thank goodness, although it's supposed to be 85 today, which really sucks. But so I do have a fan going. I hope it's not distracting. I don't think it was too bad the last time I did that. So I have a fan going because it's warm up here, but you know, that's what it is. So anyway, Nancy Halverson's got all kinds of really cute, whimsical kind of patterns for lots of different things. Not just quilt related stuff. It's all sewing related stuff, but yeah. So follow the link down below if you want more information about that. I'd like to go into, we had a giveaway that I was doing from a donated skein of yarn that was donated by the Knotty Wits. And I want to go into who won that. Okay, so the Knotty Wits donated a skein of yarn from the Silk Drop. Oh, you know what? It's under a different name. I put that in the description box in the last episode. I'll look that up. So anyway, it's an MCN base yarn, fingering weight yarn, and one of their big ass pins. So if you collect enamel pins, this is a collector's item. Just saying. So the prompt for that was in the Ravelry group, which we do have a Ravelry group for the Creative Obsession, and the prompt was, what food did you have to eat as a child that you absolutely hate that you won't eat now as an adult? And I have to say, I think the most common response was liver and onions, and I have to agree. I think I only had to eat that once. It wasn't a regular staple. That is disgusting. My dad liked it, but my dad eats the weirdest stuff, and he likes to eat that weird crap. So I hear you, people. But I did random number generator, and the number that won was number 29, who is LourdesM. So Lourdes, you won! Yay! Her, which surprised me on this, is her least favorite food, or food that she won't eat and now as an adult that she hated as a kid, was noodle soup. Like, who doesn't like noodle soup? I loved seeing your guys' responses. Some of them were things I've never heard of. And then, okay, the one that really grossed me out was the one that they said that they had to eat beef tongue. Okay, I've seen that in the grocery store. My dad says it's good, but, you know, he likes liver and onions. That is the most disgusting thing. That is not meant to be consumed. Just saying. So I feel you. But anyway, Lourdes, you won, and get in contact with me because I don't think I have your mailing address and stuff. And then I will get the skein of yarn and the big ass pin sent to you. So yay, congratulations on that. Let me put that aside. Okay. So I will go into, I did, like I said earlier, I started a new craft project sort of thing when we were on vacation. So I wanted to share that with you. And then I've got some knitting updates to show and another giveaway and some shop update stuff. Got some really pretty colors. So the new craft project that I got into. So, you know, you're on vacation as you do, relaxing, thinking of all these things that you want to do. And there is a type of paintings called dot painting. And I have been interested in it for a while, and I've just never pursued it, I guess, or never really tried, didn't really have the right tools and blah, blah, blah. So before we even went on vacation, I came across this YouTube channel, and the gal's name is Kristin Uhrig. And she's actually out of somewhere in Washington State, which is right above me. And I really liked her style of explaining it. And then I watched some videos of, she went over kind of the tools you need. And I thought, oh, that just looks like that'd be really fun. So while we were in Sun River, and I was just like, I just really want to try that. We're just sitting around. We weren't, you know, we're not doing anything, and I'm knitting, but I didn't want to knit like all the time. You know what I mean? And when I'm at home, I don't knit that much. I mean, I'll knit in the evenings, but this was like I'm knitting all day long, and I needed variety. Surprise! So I thought, okay, let's go. I watched one of her videos on the tools and said, let's go see if we can find a craft store. So when we were driving through Bend to go to Sun River, I saw off the side of the highway that they had a Hobby Lobby, and I've heard of people mention Hobby Lobby before. I didn't think we had any over here on the western side of the United States, and I'm like, someday I'd like to go check that out. Well, then I got this bug that now I have to start dot painting. So let's go to Hobby Lobby, and I just want to see what it's like because I've heard about it. It is magnificent. I have to say, it is the biggest craft store I think I've ever been in. It has everything. It had everything. You got fine art stuff to lots of scrapbooking stuff, a whole big section of home dec stuff. I didn't even go to one whole side of the store because it was like, if I stay in here for very long, I'm going to end up going home with a basket full of stuff because I want to do it all. So I had my focus. This is what I want to get. And one of the ways that Kristin on her YouTube channel shows is she does mandalas. And I like mandalas, and I like the idea of them. And I've tried doing like doodle mandalas and stuff, and I'm not really good at it. But it's fun to do. I can't hold a pen or pencil for very long because my hands go numb. So anyway. So the way that she does it is she'll do it like on black. And I thought, oh, you know what would be really good if I just got black, like cardstock or something, then that's pretty inexpensive and I can practice doing this. Let me just go get some paints, see if they have black paper, and pick up some of these tools. So I'll show you my first attempt. So I was trying to do it considering if I had like a 6x6 canvas. And so that was my first attempt at my mandala. It's not bad. You know, when I was doing this, and I mentioned this in Instagram, so you've seen this if you follow me on Instagram, is I was doing this with one eye. So that morning I'd got up, take a shower, and when I was drying off, something got in my eye, and I thought it was just an eyelash, and I couldn't get it out. And then it was like really hurting me. And I couldn't really open my eye. My eye would just constantly water, and I could not. It was hurting so bad that I could not. And I thought, well, if I look down, that didn't hurt as bad as looking up because there was something stuck on my eyelid. So I sat and looked down and dotted, and then just kind of keep drying my eye. So I was really doing this one-eyed. But so I thought it was not bad considering. It was just fun to do, to just try it and not, I don't expect it to be a masterpiece. It's just for the relaxation of it. I did end up finding an eye doctor that got me in and said I had a couple scratches on my cornea, whatever it was that was in my eye. He swiped it and put stuff in it, and it felt much better, and I was much better by the end of that day. But oh, that hurt. So anyway, when we got home, you know, craziness happens, and I thought I'm going to try it on a canvas. So I painted a canvas black. This is a piece I'm still working on. I'm not super sure that I'm thrilled with it, but it's getting there. So one of the things she does is she'll paint a circle in a different color than the background. And so I tried that. Some of the colors were really showing up really well when they were wet, but then when they dried darker, and so there's not as much contrast. You know, it's okay. It's like I said, it's still something I'm working on, still something I'm going to add to. But I did enjoy just sitting and making dots. It was very relaxing. So whether this ends up being anything, I don't really care because I had fun doing it. And that's really what mattered. And that's the whole point of doing it. So I'll show you some of the tools that she suggested. Oh, I didn't bring another one in here. One of the things she suggested, she's just using kind of everyday tools, was these plastic crochet hooks. And I got them on Amazon, and they're called Crystal Lights by Susan Bates. And so I got 2 sets, so I had varying sizes. The idea is they're flat, they're round and flat on the bottom. So what you're going to do is you dip in your paint, and then you just make the dot, dip and dot, dip and dot. And it gives you different sizes to make the dots with. So that was pretty handy because those were pretty inexpensive. Another thing she suggested was this thing called a transfer punch set. And I got this at Harbor Freight. They did have a Harbor Freight not very far from Hobby Lobby. So, of course, you have to go to the hardware store. I love going to hardware stores. Anyway, bought this, was like 10 bucks. And what it is this set of their punches, which I don't know what you use them for, but on the very tip of them, they've got this little pointy little point. And they're in different sizes, but you use the flat side. So the idea is it's got this punch, and you hit it with a hammer, and it makes a hole or a dent or something. I don't really care what they're used for, but the fact is you have this nice flat end, and you have 28 different sizes. So you get 28 different size dots. And these work really well. So I bought some, just, I don't know, a few tubes of paint because I could mix colors and stuff. So I have to kind of play with thickness of paint. If it's too thin, it kind of suctions when it pulls up and it doesn't leave the paint there. If it's too thick, it doesn't work. So you have to kind of get the right thickness. It's probably not going to go anywhere other than just doodling on something like this, but it's a lot of fun, and I didn't really invest a whole lot of money. Another thing I used for the teeny tiny dots, which I don't have with me, is, let me just go get it. Be right back. This is the other tool that I really like to use, and it's like an embossing tool, stylus. And so it's got like this ball end, and you've got different size balls. So this also puts different size dots down. The thing that's nice about these is you can dot, and then if you just keep dotting without dipping into paint, it makes your dots smaller and smaller and smaller, so you can gradate your sizes, which is kind of what I did like here. So those are the tools I used, and I don't know how much of it I'll be doing just because of time, but it's just a fun, something different to do. And it was just really fun to play with the different colors. And just like I had said before, I was feeling kind of stagnant with my colors and not feeling inspired. So working with other things and working in other colors has inspired me for other colors. So that was a lot of fun. All right, so let's move into some knitting stuff. I don't have any finished objects. I tried really hard. So I am still working on my socks that I'm going to give to my mom. They're almost done. I'm not putting it on a sock blocker because you've seen it. So this is out of my Squash Blossom colorway, doing the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo socks, so it makes little pumpkins with a cable design. For my cables, I'm just using a really tiny DPN. I have a cable needle, but it was too fat. I don't have a thin enough cable needle for fingering weight, and so it was making it too hard to pick up those stitches and move them. So I'm just using a really thin DPN. I just kind of stick it in the sock, put it around when I need it. I just grab it. So I have to do, I think, one more repeat and a half, maybe, or yeah, something like that. So I'm almost to the toe. It's funny, this skein of yarn, this was my Squash Blossom, and I picked this skein of yarn because I knew it wasn't going to go in my shop. I didn't feel like the colors I put on went through the skein enough. Does that make sense? Some of this wasn't even enough. And so I just kept it for myself. So you can see where it gets a little bit lighter, like the green wasn't as strong on towards the end of the skein or whatever. But close enough. My mom's going to love them. Her birthday's coming up, so I won't be able to show you them absolutely finished, but they'll look like a pair of socks. They'll both look like this. So I was really trying to finish these up last night so that I could show you a finished pair of socks, but, you know, it didn't happen. I am enjoying that pattern. Definitely go check it out if you're wanting to make something for October, for something maybe pumpkin-y. I knitted quite a bit on my So Faded sweater when we were at Sun River, and I got to the point where I'm like, I don't know if it's long enough and whatever, and I didn't have an extra cable to try it on, so I waited till I got home. So I'm going to show you where I'm at with it and kind of tell you what my plan is. So let me find it here. It gets all tangled up. There we go. Okay. So where's my marker? I got that much more done since I talked to you. So what I think I'm going to do is, I think it's getting pretty close. You're supposed to do a couple of inches of ribbing, and I kind of feel like I need a couple more inches till it's the length that I want it. But I don't feel like I can really tell till it's finished on top. So I think I'm going to put this bottom on hold and pick up my sleeves and do my sleeves, do my neckline, so that that's going on me the way it's going to fit. And then I feel like I can get a better idea of how long to make it. Because I'm also getting pretty low on this skein, which means I would, you know, transfer into a new skein pretty soon. I might have enough to just finish it with this skein and start doing ribbing, and this would be the end of it when this runs out, and I don't even have to get into that other skein. So that's why I'm kind of waiting. I want it to be long enough, but I don't want it to be too long. I don't want it to be too short, because if it's too short, I won't wear it. And right now, I'm having a hard time being able to tell. So that's what I'm going to do. Put it on hold, knit sleeves. I'm a little intimidated by that. But you know what? It's not going to do me any good the way it is. So I have to finish it. I have to do it. Because I'm already itching to make my next sweater. I want to make a DK weight sweater. I've enjoyed knitting this, but man, it takes a long time when you're doing fingering weight as your first sweater. So I have some plans for a DK weight sweater, but I'm not going to let myself even get the pattern or do any of that until this one's done. So, yeah, so hopefully next time I show it, I'll have a sleeve or two and maybe some neck ribbing. Fingers crossed. That's the plan. I did start a new project. I had talked about wanting to do the 3-color Cashmere Cowl by Hoki Locatelli. She's got a fall knit along going on. So it's the 3-color Cashmere Cowl. And I'm doing it in shades of blue. I am just loving this. So this is my progress so far. I really knitted on this quite a bit because I got stopped on my sweater wanting to try that on, and I couldn't really work on it too much. So there's my cowl. This is all out of my own yarn. So this is denim, this is driftwood, and then this is rain cloud. This is going to be perfect with like jeans and stuff, which is what I wear. If I wear this, I don't know if I'll wear it. It'll probably be too warm. But when I walk milling on the cold winter days, that might be kind of nice. I love working on it, so why not? I have slipped it over my head. I think once it blocks out, it's going to be even a little looser, which will help if it's not like feeling like it's choking me, which it doesn't. So anyway, I'm really loving it. I picked, in my driftwood, I'm doing, that one's in a sparkle base. So it's got just a little bit of sparkle just with that color. Because the whole thing didn't need to be sparkly, but I kind of like the idea that that kind of sparkled. I really like the way this driftwood knits up in this. It just is exactly the way I wanted the color to be. So, making progress on that. I think once I've finished with this section, which I think I have maybe another inch of it, then it kind of does this on the other end, I think. I don't know. I'm just going with it. It'll be done by the next time I podcast, though, because I'm pretty close. So I know when it blocks, this will lay flatter, but I think there's a way that you can do something to make that not curl up. So this is some ribbing. It was 1x1 rib, 2x1, 1x1 rib, I think is what I did. And then you went into kind of an eyelet section. This will flatten out, but it wants to flip up like that. Can you see that? So there's something you can do to make that not happen, I think. So if you have a clue for me, just for future reference, because even like for my sweater, when I go to do the ribbing, isn't there something you're supposed to do when you transition from ribbing to your knitting that keeps that from wanting to flip up or curl up? So yeah, let me know in the comments below if you've got a handy little tip for that. Because, yeah, that'd be really good. All right, I'm going to do another giveaway. I am doing an Instagram giveaway. It's my first Instagram giveaway. I just have never done it before. So being that October is right around the corner, I am going to give away one of my Spellbound Sparkle Sock Blanks. So follow me on Instagram, tag a friend. I'm going to pick the winner October 1st and send you a sock blank. So this is going to be my next sock, is out of this colorway for October. So once Mom's socks are done, that's what's going to get cast on. Yeah, that's all I have. And now I want to go into shop update stuff. So if you're done, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you like to watch this. Give me a thumbs up. I'm going to go into shop update stuff. Got a couple of new colorways I'm really, really excited about. So let me get that all gathered and I'll be right back. All right, let's go into some of the new colors I have. I have got this tonal gray blue with, it's got some kind of beige in there. It's similar to my Rain Cloud colorway, which was the lighter blue color of my 3-color Cashmere Cowl. Similar in that color, but it's more tonal with some beiges and stuff. This is Moody Blue. This colorway is, it was the colorway I wanted Leslie of the Knotty Knitwits to name, and she hasn't named it yet, so I'm going to name it Second Chance. This was a colorway that I did trying to get a completely different color, and it came out and I was like, yeah, I don't really think I like it all that much. And one time she came over and she's like, oh my gosh, I have to have this. Well, she's knitting a sweater with it and it's knitting up so beautifully. And I thought, okay, I think I need to make that colorway again because that's actually turning out really pretty. So this is going to be called Second Chance because it's getting a second chance. And so it's a combination of kind of a purpley blue color and this mauve color. And so that is Second Chance. This color, oh my goodness, this is Fire in the Sky. Oh my God. I am so in love with this color. It has got yellows and purple and blue and kind of a rusty pink and a little bit of green, depending on how the color is kind of mixed. I want a sweater out of this. I want like everything out of this. So then I dyed Stardust to go with it. So it's got some kind of dark pink amethyst colors and some blue and a little bit of yellow, and it goes perfectly with Fire in the Sky. So Fire in the Sky I've got on several bases. This I only have a couple of skeins of this. I have to dye up some more. I just have run out of time. because I'm also doing a really fun project that I can't share with you yet. So dyeing a bunch of yarn for that. So Fire in the Sky, Stardust. But what I really loved about this is what it went with. It goes really well with Mademoiselle. Goes really well with Royalty, which is a really dark purple. Goes well with Honey. And it goes really well with Denim, which is a dark blue. It goes with a lot of different things. I think it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Oh, look at that. So those are my new colors. I'm going to do a bunch of dyeing tomorrow. I'm going to do more of the Starburst and some more for this upcoming project. So I am working with someone else to do something for the holidays. And I won't be able to announce it probably until later in October. But I will let you know as soon as we're set and ready to go. So that's exciting. But it's keeping me really busy. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that everything is going well in your neck of the woods, wherever that may be. Check out the Instagram giveaway. Yeah. So I will see you in a couple of weeks. Thank you so much for being here. I'll talk to you later. Bye.